Hey guys, welcome to today of course, and today we're discussing the Paolo Emilio. So, first things first, let's take a look at the armor scheme actually. Paolo Emilio's are interesting for the DD. Not like the Kaba, it's pretty darn coated in 20 to 90 millimeters of armor, 90 millimeters primarily. It does have this, see coated in 19 to 24. It is coated in this armor plate that's 6 millimeter here, which means you are going to shatter some HE on the belt and you can get some AP pens on the side, so do watch out for that. More of a weakness than anything, but you can be somewhat resilient to the HE. On this small part of the ship, you can bounce some stuff, so you're a bit less resistant to being straight out blapped because you can actually bounce the shells. Additionally, turrets are actually really tanky. 30 millimeters on the sides and 60, I believe, on the front. That's not bad for DD turrets. Don't expect to be broke very easily. Large health pool, as you mentioned, this is the armor. You've got 4 double-barreled 135s, quite high caliber for DD. You've got 3 quad launchers that hit for nearly 24k a pop. Similar to Fletcher, we've already discussed this before. Pretty quick, rivaling even Fantas, and this build 5.6. Now, let's go for modules real quick before we go to command builds. Aiming systems, I would definitely go for it. You could go main battery mod, but your reload really is kind of clutch, so you kind of want to keep it as. I've tried steering mod, I don't like it at all. Propulsion is definitely the way to go. Highly recommend propulsion. And concealment, definitely recommended. You can go for steering gears, but I think concealment is the way to go for this guy as well. And I went for main battery. You could go for torpedo launchers because your main armor is torpedoes, yes, but the fact that it gives you a plus 50% of being incapacitated means when you're YOLOing, you're bound to get hit, and there's a chance you're going to lose your torpedo tubes, maybe even permanently. So I like main battery. I like the fact I can at least defend myself if a DD spots me because this reload is pretty darn long. Commander Luigi Rizzo with the Great Escape perk. You're going to go Observant Rage for additional reload, better detectability. Look at me now for detectability. We're going to go with Twist and Track because we want the turret traverse speed. It's not great on the Emilio. If we pop on Perceptive, the new skill here, take a look real quick at the turret traverse. 20.7 seconds. Pretty for a DD. So putting on regular Twist and Track improves that quite a margin to 17.1. You're shaving off 3 seconds. That's quite a significant change there. So definitely use Twist and Track. But you could use this or 1000 cuts or Perceptive if maybe you're running main battery mod or something. Cloudy days, I don't like to debuff my smoke, so I'm going to use smoke in the water. Unstoppable, a must for reduced engine, gain reduced mobility with a disabled engine and or rudder. Inspirations, this is where it gets a bit crazy. Eric Bay. Oh yeah, you want to use Leviathan by the way. Leviathan reduces your movement speed. Movement speed's pretty key for YOLOs and stuff like that. First inspiration, Eric Bay, pretty standard. I recommend him. Second inspiration, I went for AL Adigo. If you have her, if you don't have her, well, you just scroll over to the guy. There's so many options here. Unfortunately, a lot of them are kind of event commanders. So if you don't have them, great. Unfortunately, but you'll get them. Swirsky is what I recommend as well for 5.3 detectability. You could use Giuseppe as well. You've got tons of options. You could Anton. You could use Vladimir. You could use, what am I thinking now? God. Oh yeah. You could use Vian for additional incoming fire dispersion. You could use Sims. You could use Mordov. You could use Gleaves. There's so many options that you could build for. You could even use Azurine Baltimore to help reduce your rudder shift. I liked buffing my torpedoes, but buffing your tankiness is definitely something you could do. So this is what I went with Luigi, and you go for the Giuseppe build. This is what I run for. Quick fix. Look me now. I wouldn't use Squid Zinc because you've only got two smoke charges. So you really want to spec in the concealment because after those 2 smokes, that skill is basically useless. You could go with Standard Fall, Perceptive, probably Perceptive for this guy, and then Sidestep, and then Unstoppable, and then Eric Bay and Vladimir, because I went with Vladimir because it helps add on to the Perceptive skill, so you've almost got like a 10% incoming damage reduction, as well as incoming fire dispersion from the Sidestep skill. So yeah, you could go. You're pretty resilient to damage with that other build. So yeah, you can also swap out regular smoke for exhaust smoke. Very important. I do like the exhaust smoke more. Be aware though that the exhaust smoke you will outrun your own exhaust smoke at 40 knots past that value. It'll actually tell you when you look at it, so it's actually not a bug, it's a game feature, unfortunately. So yeah, tons of inspirations, as I said before. Even original turret is not a bad idea to be your launcher's reload time, steering gears, impairment chance reduction as well. There's so many builds you can run with Emilio. I recommend my build because I think I'm testing tons of other builds and I like this build, but there's plenty other ways to run it, and don't let anyone tell you different. There's so many ways to build Paolo Emilio, the ship, and it'd be really interesting to see. And if you compare it to the size of the Cabros, the Emilio is actually a little bit bigger, so it's very easy to mess up in the Paolo. Anyway, let's go on to a game and I'll show you what I mean. So we got another Paolo Emilio here. We got a Shimikaze, a bunch of legendaries, and a CV game. Now, Paolo Emilio does have some bad sides to it. Its turning circle is extremely bad, so even with a good rudder shift, you'll take a long time to turn. Even with a decent rudder shift, it was still, the turning circle is the biggest problem with the Paolo, not necessarily the rudder shift. It just takes it takes a very wide berth, and it's quite a problem. In terms of concealment, you're basically similar to a Fletcher, but you can get there, you can get low and stuff like that. Torps are only 6 kilometers long, so it's pretty limiting in terms of torps, and they're kind of your main bread and butter. If you spec into guns like I have, you're getting about an 8-second reload, 8.7, 8 point something. I've tried to build when you fully spec into guns, you're getting back close to 7, but even that, not very competitive. The HE though does hit very, very hard. You're hitting for 3k, 4k, maybe even close to 5k on a single full salvo with these guns. So you can do some really nasty alpha strikes. You'd probably beat DDs, Japanese DDs, but it's not an easy fight. You're going to lose a lot of health in the process as you're such a large ship. Now, I recommend playing the Emilio just like any other DD at the start, but very cautiously. I would say the Paolo is more of a hit and run thing, but more emphasis on the run. You need to be prepared to disengage whenever you can. Yeah, use islands, play the American DD style where you're sneaking up, using islands to kind of obscure your detection, maybe using the rolling smoke to sneak up on someone, but your biggest priority, and I can't stress this enough, is think of an escape plan. You need an escape plan. You always need to be thinking of retreating. It's kind of it's like you're playing a French ship. Okay, you have another Paolo here. Now, as I said, this thing's not very maneuverable. It's not. The rudder shift is so bad in this thing, as you can see. Already beaching myself, kind of on purpose though, to kind of hide eyes from the Paolo right here. I don't want to burn the damage con, but I would need to do it anyway. Now this is where I kind of like, what do I do here? I'm just going to wait and see what he does here. Now, Paolo is not very agile, as I said, so there's a high chance that he could probably die to those. Okay, he's not going to die. He's going to straight Yush, but he can't actually torpedo us in this way, because we're just going to go forward. Okay, now we've got 3 quad launchers, not just 2. So he's sent the torpedoes there, he's missed, okay? We're just evaluating how we can escape, because if we just turned straight left, we just went straight left, we'd run into another island. So we need to make sure you've got the efficient window for it. He's popped his rolling smoke, which means he's reversing, so we're going to fire some speculative torps into that smoke screen, and we'll see what we can do. Remember, the torps are not that quick. 67 knots unbuffed, 71 if you do buff them with contact is imminent. Even so, they have a very large detectability. We do catch the Paolo, which is always nice, and there goes our first death strike of the match. But yeah, the 1.7 detectability, that's why I got the detectability down, so a bit harder to see. Very stealthy, very non-stealthy torps, and kind of slow speeds. Not Italian torp speeds. You know, 63 is actually pretty good compared to other Italians, but 67, sorry, it's pretty good. But yeah, definitely nothing to write home about in terms of detection and speed. See your guns, you want to use them as much as possible. This is very hard hitting HE, quite exceptional HE, really good HE. The AP is not bad. It's got okay pen. It hasn't got great penetration, but it does pen the cruisers and does Citadel at certain ranges. Don't expect it to be a cruiser, but you'll get comfortable pens. Fire chance is really good at 9%. It's really quite nice, considering you're firing all these guns here. That's 8 guns, isn't it? with a 9% fire chance, let's just say 10 roughly, you know, you've got a pretty nice chance of setting a fire. Obviously, islands, you know, you want to make sure you don't hit the islands too much, but you want to make sure that you're not spotted as much as possible. So we lost a bit of health. As you can see, it's very easy to lose health in this thing. It's very easy to mess up. So you gotta be very careful. It's such an easy boat to make one wrong mistake and that everything goes out the window. That's the game ended. That's everything done. You just straight dead. Because as you can see, look at that turning. It's really bad. Really bad turning. The fact that you top speed, even without a speed boost, can outrun your own rolling smoke means you have to travel at a third speed. See, I'm going 41 knots right now. Now I can use my rolling smoke, you see, but now I can't because I'm over 40. See, I pop the smoke and you see the wee indicator. Don't know if you guys can see that. It's basically telling me that I should go a little bit under full speed, which I'm going to have to alter it occasionally. Now, escape plan. First thing you want to do, escape plan. What can I do to escape? Rolling smoke will keep me going here, but at this point I can't turn because of this video, the really bad turning, so I just got to go for it at this point. I'm going to lose some health, but that's what the Paolo Emilio is for. Now, the smoke is great, but you're still going to take damage because depending on how close you want to get, you're going to enter guaranteed detectability range, which is 3 kilometers if they're running the mod, and 2 kilometers if they're not. Now, he's the only thing spotting us, and these torpedoes hit like an absolute truck. There we go. And he's out. That's 4 torps. Surprised he took that many, really. Yeah, he took a couple on the belt there. Took out our steering, but again, unstoppable gives us the steering anyway. It's just that reduced rate. And it's not really the steering the problem, it's the rudder shift that's really bad. So you can't really change that, unfortunately. But yeah. One thing we do as well, another problem that we've seen with the Paolo Emilio, is chasing targets. You may be a fast boat. You can go borderline 50 knots, close to that, probably even faster depending on if you want to go for a speed build, which I did try out. Speed builds are fun, don't get me wrong. Okay, you could definitely recommend Blue Fiora as well as an inspiration for a commander. But you can't be chasing targets like tier 7 and legendary battleships who are running away from you. Just not going to work. You have to be significantly faster in order to catch up to them. So see this Iowa here. Yamato is probably a good target, but he's getting pretty focused hardcore. I don't think it's a worthwhile endeavor. He's going to die pretty quickly. He's not going to last very long. I believe that's a very tough opponent over there for him. So I'm going to go thinking about what can I do about this Iowa. Thinking targets, acquiring targets. Shimikaze I don't want to shoot right now because I don't want to give away my position. But we will knock him out sooner or later. We'll get to him. Just thinking the targets here. I'd like to shoot again the Yamato, but I don't want to announce my presence to the Iowa because if he starts sailing away permanently, there's a no chance I'll be able to get my torpedoes off on him. As you can see, getting close, but as soon as he starts running away, you got to disengage. You got to find a different target. Your torpedoes are great and all, and if you want to have opportunity to use them, it's great. But even at your speeds, you need to be significantly faster. You need to go in 60, 70 knots, something like that, to catch up to battleships at tier 7, because most battleships tier 7 go about 30 knots at top speed, roundabout. So he's just running away, and I figured it's a lost cause. No point for me chasing the Iowa to the back of the map. I'm going to go hunt down that Shimikaze. That's why I popped the speed boost, which does last quite a bit, which is nice. But yeah, definitely don't want to be chasing targets. You want to be targets that come to you, or targets you can easily get to. Even the Grosse Kerfur, one of the biggest ships in this game, can go up to 30 knots as well. So you don't want to be chasing targets, even if they're battleships, because tier 7 battleships are kind of fast in terms of battleship standards. I mean, the Kansas you might be able to catch up to, but that is a very rare case. Same with cruisers as well. You really want to be going for targets that are after you. So it's all about the run, and then the hitting comes after they try. You kind of set up a trap for the enemy, and then you make them walk into it. That's how I play the Paolo. Also, playing it like a very cautious DD is a good shout. Definitely. Now we're going to see here this Shimikaze's in the smoke screen here. It's probably worth firing. Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. Ah, he died anyway. That's fine, as long as he dies. We did get spotted by the Kerr first, but he's running away from us anyway, so we're not really losing anything because it's kind of a fruitless endeavor, chasing the guy. So at this point, we're just going to push in and capture the last area. There's nothing we can do. The Iowa's at the back of the map. The Kerr first at the back of the map. Just this situation, if you push and you do shit, you're just going to waste your time and you're not going to get stuff done. So, oh, we see the carrier, and he's pushing towards us, as you can see. So he is a good target for us to go for. I've done a couple of matches again. I've done quite a few matches in the Paolo Emilio, and I wouldn't say this is the best match that I've done, but it's the most YOLO-y match I've done, and I feel this boat kind of deserves the YOLO-y match. I've got other 3K games where I've really kind of farmed damage. I've done more damage than this, and I've had 3K base, and I've capped a lot of bases, but you know, this boat's not really. It's you play this like a DD, but you really want to use this islands to your example. Yeah, add islands to your advantage, as you can see. So we're just going for it at this point. We don't know if the curve first is running sonar. Even if he is, we're just not going to stop. We're going to keep going, because at this point we've entered that point of no return. We're going to pop our smoke screen. We're going to fire some preemptive torps on one side, and we're going to speed ahead, just pop in that smoke screen to make sure that we are concealed as much as possible. I know we're running it, but we need to get to that island, because that's really what's important. Torpedo tubes to get incapacitated. Remember, if we have that torpedo tube module, there's a higher chance of that even happening, so we might lose both tubes, and we can lose them permanently. So this is the point where we slow down here, and we're going to fire the torps here, and we're going to get the other side off while trying to retreat and keep our health pool alive. Okay, Lexington is spotted because we're out of our own smoke screen. We're running away at full speed. We dev strike the Lexington, and we're just going to try and dodge every single salvo the curve first throws at us. The game ends, and there we go. So what to take away from this, folks, is it's a hit and run boat with the emphasis on running. You need to be careful about running away. What is your escape plan? Don't have an escape plan? Is it worth to die for? So folks, if you haven't already, please subscribe for more. Give this thing a like. I'm getting close to 1,000 subs. I just need a little bit more support, guys. Thank you very much everyone who's helping me out so much, and I really hope to get to that 1,000 milestone soon, and I'll be more helpful, more content, more better stuff for you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye for now.